Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to this compilation video. These are episodes 7 through 11 of my story, The Dance of the Stars. I've been rolling out a lot of videos recently, and these compilation videos kind of give me a day to reset and also come up with fresh content for you guys. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, please like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It'd help me out so much. Also, if you'd like to support the channel in other ways, I recently made a Patreon, and for as little as $5, you can see behind the scenes footage, sneak peeks, and even get yourself put into my stories. Anyway, enjoy the compilation, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
The Battle of
Bye.
Winter's Field was over, and the Mongol horde stood triumphant. Their victory was absolute, their message clear. No one was beyond their reach. But conquest did not end on the battlefield. It was a seed planted in the hearts of survivors meant to grow into fear. In the heart of Tenochtitlan, the Aztecs received a chilling message. A box, carried through the streets by Aztec servants, was delivered to the great temple. Inside lay the hearts of their warriors, returned to their gods in an act of deliberate mockery. It was not just a warning, it was a declaration of what awaited those who resisted. Far across the seas in the Delhi Sultanate, a similar box arrived. Within, the tusks of their mighty war elephants, symbols of their strength, lay broken and bloodstained. The message was unmistakable. The strength of the Delhi had been shattered, their defiance crushed beneath Mongol hooves. Faced with annihilation, the leaders of Delhi turned their eyes skyward. The moon, a silent witness to the chaos of Earth, became their beacon of hope. With urgency born of desperation, they worked to bring ancient myths to life. The legendary Vimanas, flying vehicles of old, were forged in secrecy. They would carry the Sultanate beyond the reach of the horde, to a new world in the heavens. The Aztecs, however, sought answers not in the stars, but in the divine. Their gods, silent after Winter's Field, demanded blood to speak again. With their armies decimated, they turned to prisoners and the remnants of their people. A grand ritual began, their prayers rising with the smoke of sacrificial flames. In Rome, the great Khan sat in contemplation. Before him, maps of Earth and the stars stretched wide, each a canvas for his conquests. His advisors spoke of opportunities, the wounded Aztecs, the fleeing Sultanate, but the Khan's eyes lingered on whispers from Egypt. Egypt, they said, had a power unlike anything seen before. The pyramids glowed faintly in the night, and a staff adorned with a crystal of blue light stood at the center of their strength. The Khan knew that with this power, his empire could ascend beyond the stars. Yet, Egypt's secrets remained veiled in mystery, a risk even he could not fully grasp. To the pharaoh, the ether was both a blessing and a curse. It was said to be a gift from the gods, capable of unimaginable power, but its true nature eluded even the wisest of his advisors. The staff that controlled it was his greatest weapon, yet its power came with a warning. To wield it was to risk everything. Egypt would not fall without a fight, but even the gods could not guarantee victory against the horde. Amidst the shifting tides of power, a new discovery awaited the Mongols in the ruins of Rome. A chamber, long sealed, had been opened. Within its depths lay the remnants of a forgotten age. Deep within the heart of Rome, a hidden chamber revealed its ancient secrets. The Mongol Khan, victorious and unrelenting, descended into the shadowed depths of the Roman ruins. Torchlight danced upon crumbling stone walls, casting eerie shapes across the chamber. Dust filled the air, each breath heavy with the weight of history. The chamber was a tomb. Carved reliefs lined the walls, telling forgotten tales of a she-wolf nurturing 2 infants by a river. At the center stood a towering statue of the Capitoline wolf, its solemn gaze seeming to pierce through time itself. Beneath the statue lay a massive sarcophagus, its surface adorned with ancient Latin inscriptions. One word stood out, lupa. With a solemn nod from the Khan, his men pried open the stone lid. The air grew still, as if the chamber itself held its breath. Inside lay the remains of a creature unlike any the Mongols had seen, a skeletal figure, larger than any human, its skull unmistakably wolf-like. In its bony grasp rested a glowing orb of brilliant blue. The Khan reached out, his hand trembling as he touched the orb. Its light pulsed faintly, and in that moment, he felt the weight of something far beyond his comprehension. Across the void of space, the remnants of Rome's empire forged their destiny on the barren surface of Mars. In the depths of an ancient cave, A Roman scouting party pressed onward, their torches flickering against the rocky walls. Each step echoed in the silence, the weight of their armor a stark contrast to the emptiness surrounding them. The narrow tunnel opened into a vast cavern. Before them lay a city, ancient and desolate, its stone structures carved with intricate patterns. Pillars and archways crumbled under the weight of millennia, and skeletal remains littered the ground. These were not human skeletons. The elongated limbs and wolf-like skulls bore testament to a species long extinct, the Lycarans. The soldiers moved cautiously, their eyes scanning the ruins. Carvings on the walls depicted scenes of war and innovation. One panel showed the Lycarans crafting something, a swirling green gas contained within intricate vessels. Another depicted towering ships leaving their planet, a lone figure watching as the fleet ascended into the stars. The cavern seemed to whisper their story, fragments of a once great civilization lost to time. The city was not always silent. Once it teemed with life. Lycarans walked its streets, their voices ringing with purpose. Scientists and warriors worked side by side, their focus singular, survival. The enemy they faced remained shrouded in mystery, but the desperation in their efforts was evident. Towers belched smoke as green gas filled containment chambers, a weapon born of necessity. Among them stood Lupa, a figure of both strength and compassion. Her piercing gaze matched her resolve as she oversaw the preparations. But even she knew that survival here was fleeting. The enemy's advance was relentless, and the Lycarans' time on Mars was running out. On the barren surface of the planet, Lupa stood before a spacecraft, its design sleek and alien. She turned to her people one last time before boarding. Her mission was clear, to find refuge beyond the stars. As the ship ascended, Mars grew smaller, its fate sealed in the silence of the void. Lupa's journey brought her to a world untouched by the chaos she had left behind. Earth was vibrant, its rivers and forests a stark contrast to the red dust of Mars. By a riverbank, she found two infants, abandoned and crying. She took them into her care, her instincts as both protector and nurturer, compelling her to act. These children would become Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome. The story of their upbringing by a she-wolf would echo through centuries, a tale distorted by time, but rooted in truth. Lupa's legacy lived on, her influence shaping a civilization destined for greatness, and eventual exile among the stars. In the city of Novus Roma, beneath the crimson sky, unrest simmered. The streets, once orderly, now echoed with cries of discontent. Torches lit the night, illuminating graffiti scrawled across marble walls. Statues of Emperor Magnus, once revered, were now defaced by angry citizens. Smoke curled from burning effigies as riots spread through the city, an empire built on order, now teetering on the edge of chaos. By day, the Senate appeared unified in their loyalty to Magnus. Draped in pristine white togas, they sang praises to the emperor's vision, hailing his conquests and discoveries as the dawn of a new Roman age. But beneath the surface, they whispered of betrayal. In secret chambers lit by flickering oil lamps, they schemed against him, feeding the citizens lies about their leader's supposed obsession with conquest at the expense of their welfare. These whispers turned to roars among the populace. Citizens, disillusioned and angry, marched in protest. Businesses were looted, homes set aflame. Gladiatorial games were hastily organized to appease the mob, and for a brief moment the blood on the sand distracted the masses. But it wasn't enough. The unrest lingered like a storm cloud over Novus Roma. In the dead of night, shadows crept through the grand halls of the emperor's palace. Silent save for the faint rustle of fabric and the whisper of a blade being drawn, a cloaked figure moved with purpose. The emperor, lost in restless dreams, awoke to the faintest creak of the chamber door. Instinct gripped him. His eyes snapped open to see the glint of steel descending toward his chest. Magnus rolled from his bed just as the dagger struck the mattress, tearing through silken sheets. The assassin lunged again, their blade flashing in the moonlight. Magnus's training as a soldier ignited within him. Grabbing the knife, the two men began their struggle. The two figures grappled in the dim light, the assassin's agility pitted against the emperor's brute strength. The fight was ferocious but brief. The emperor managed to twist the dagger from his assailant's grip, delivering a crushing blow to the assassin's ribs. As they collapsed to the ground, gasping for air, Magnus demanded answers. But before words could spill from the would-be killer's lips, the Emperor noticed a parchment tucked into their cloak. It was a note, precise instructions on how to infiltrate the palace, signed with the unmistakable handwriting of Senator Quintus, Magnus's most trusted advisor and friend. Rage boiled within Magnus. The betrayal was clear. His heart, once filled with hope for Novus Roma's unity, now burned with resolve. If the Senate sought to undermine his rule, then they would learn the price of treachery. The next day, the Colosseum stood packed. Citizens filled the stands, their voices a cacophony of curiosity and anticipation. At the center of the grand arena stood the Senate, huddled in a circle, their white togas now symbols of cowardice rather than purity. Chains bound their hands, their faces pale with fear. Magnus embraced the crowd, stood on the raised dais overlooking the scene. His voice thundered through the arena, carried by the winds and amplified by the structure's flawless acoustics.
People of Novus Roma! You trusted me to lead you to greatness, to build an empire that would endure for millennia. But these men sought to shatter that dream. They have betrayed not just me, but you, the citizens of Rome. Their treachery will not go unpunished. Today, the false Senate falls, and from their ashes, a new Rome will rise, stronger, united under one ruler. Unleash the Leo Mechanicus.
At his signal, the gates of the arena opened with a deafening creak. From the shadows emerged the Leo Mechanicus, mechanical lions crafted by the finest Roman engineers. Their golden exteriors gleamed in the sunlight, their movements eerily fluid. The crowd gasped as the beasts prowled forward, their glowing eyes fixed on the senators. The senators begged, screamed, and pleaded for mercy, their voices drowned out by the growing cheers of the spectators. Then, with a sudden burst of motion, the Leo Mechanicus lunged. The arena floor became a spectacle of vengeance, blood soaking the sand as the crowd erupted in approval. Magnus watched, his face a mask of cold determination. When the cries of the senators finally ceased, he turned back to the crowd.
Let this be a lesson to all who would oppose the will of Rome. The Senate is no more. From this day forward, I alone will guide us to our destiny. Together, we shall build an empire that will stand for an eternity.
The crowd roared its approval, chanting the emperor's name. Magnus raised his arms, basking in their adoration. But deep within, he knew this was only the beginning. The path ahead would be treacherous, but his resolve was unshakable. As the sun set over Novus Roma, its crimson light bathed the city in a fiery glow. The people cheered, the emperor stood victorious, and the age of the Republic faded into history.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the latest episode of my series, The Dance of the Stars. I've been having so much fun telling this story, and I try to release a new episode every single day. If you're enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm very new to YouTube, and every little bit of support helps. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys
Spring had set in
tomorrow.
Rome. The snow leaving the city brought warmth and stability to the ruins of a once great empire. The ether had given the Khan power beyond imagination, yet it exacted a price. His hands, once strong and capable, now bore the scars of his ambition. Bandaged and raw, they served as a constant reminder of the orb's untamed power. Mongol medicine men craft remedies to help the Khan's anguish. The Khan winces but waves away his attendants. His face, framed by a thick beard, is stern, his eyes calculating despite the pain. He turns as the grand doors of the palace open, revealing a slim Mongolian soldier. The man strides in, his armor gleaming with the dust of far-off lands. His frame is wiry and lean, a stark contrast to the Khan's large and imposing figure. Where the Khan's strength lies in brute force and overwhelming presence, the man's sharp eyes and thin, angular features hint at his cunning mind. He kneels before the Khan, offering a
Great
traditional
Khan,
greeting.
I return from the east with news of triumph. The conquests are complete, and the lands beyond the mountains now kneel before your banner.
Rise, Batu. Your cunning never fails me. With you, our horde grows stronger. And now, your arrival brings more than victories. There is a matter of great importance. This was found in the hands of a great wolf being, unlike anything I have ever seen. It holds power beyond our understanding. We will test its capabilities, see what it truly can do. Soldier, here!
A soldier steps forward under orders. His hands tremble as he opens the golden box. Inside, the ether glows ominously, its blue light pulsating like a heartbeat. The soldier hesitates, but a sharp command from the Khan propels him into action. With bare hands, he lifts the orb. His skin begins to blister almost immediately. The soldier, grimacing in agony, stumbles away from the Khan and the group. He moves toward the edge of the clearing, his steps faltering. Suddenly, he drops the orb. The ground trembles as it makes contact. A brilliant blue light explodes outward, momentarily blinding everyone. When the light fades, a massive crater lies where the orb had fallen. The soldier is gone, his existence erased by the ether's might. Smoke rises from the smoldering earth, and in the center of the devastation, the ether lies undisturbed, glowing faintly.
So much power, Batu. It's amazing.
Batu watches in silence, his calculating gaze fixed on the orb. The light reflects in his eyes as a seed of ambition takes root.
This power is beyond our understanding, Great Khan. But imagine what it could achieve in the hands of those who could master it.
It must be studied, harnessed. But one mistake, Batu, and it could end us all.
Then, let us ensure no mistakes are made.
Back in the palace, the golden box is placed in the Khan's quarters. It never leaves his sight. He spends hours gazing at it, his mind consumed by its potential. Batu, meanwhile, begins to quietly gather his loyal soldiers, those who had followed him from the eastern conquests. The size of his forces, 1/4 of the horde, ensures he wields significant influence. As days pass, Batu grows frustrated with the Khan's hesitation. During a private meeting, Batu confronts him.
Great Khan, the orb's potential is limitless. We must act now, before its power is wasted.
No, Batu. We proceed with caution. The risks are too great.
Hesitation is weakness, my Khan. A Khan who fears destruction has already ensured it.
The room falls silent as the tension between the two thickens. Batu's words linger, and his ambition solidifies into resolve. One evening, the Khan and Batu dine together. Laughter echoes through the hall as goblets of fermented mare's milk are raised. Batu, ever the loyal companion, pours the Khan's drink, his movements smooth and deliberate. The Khan drinks deeply, unaware of the sleeping agent mixed within. Later that night, as the Khan lies in a drugged sleep, Batu moves with precision. He and his men enter the Khan's quarters. Carefully, they take the golden box and the ether within. Batu's heart pounds as he holds the orb, the weight of his ambition finally within his grasp. Under the cover of darkness, Batu and his soldiers break camp. They board ships, their sails catching the wind as they disappear into the horizon, leaving the Khan and the horde behind. And so the bond between the Khan and his greatest general was shattered. Batu, the cunning serpent, had stolen the horde's greatest prize. His betrayal echoed through history, marking the first true fracture in the Mongol horde's unity. For the first time, the unstoppable force was brought to its knees, and the ether, a power that could shape worlds, now lay in the hands of a traitor.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the latest episode of my series, The Dance of the Stars. I've been having so much fun telling this story, and I try to release a new episode every single day. If you're enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm very new to YouTube, and every little bit of support helps. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the latest episode of my new series, The Dance of the Stars. I've been having so much fun making this series, and I'm getting better every single day, but I could really use your help. With me being new to YouTube, YouTube doesn't know who to send my videos to because I don't have a lot of subscribers. If you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider giving the channel a subscription. It would go a long way to help me, and it's absolutely free. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, I recently made a Patreon page with behind-the-scenes footage, talking to me directly, and even putting yourself in my stories. There's a lot to love, and the support goes a long way. Anyway, here's the new episode. Enjoy.
In the cradle of the Earth's most secluded realm, we flourished. Atlantis, a beacon of wisdom and power, stood apart, untouched by the turmoil of lesser nations. Yet, even the most resplendent stars fall into darkness. One day they came from the heavens with a gift.
Behold, people of Atlantis, I am Naziris of the Kiran. We bring to you the greatest power in the cosmos, the ether, a gift to you. The ether holds the power to heal, to destroy, to grant life eternal. But know this, its power is dangerous and its misuse can unravel even the mightiest of worlds. Protected, for the ether's destiny now intertwines with yours.
I am High Chancellor Adrian. We are honored by your trust. With this gift, we will usher in a new age of enlightenment for Atlantis.
But power breeds ambition, and ambition blinds wisdom. In our hubris, we sought to control that which we could not understand.
My fellow Atlanteans, imagine a limitless source of energy. If we bring the ethers into harmony, we could transcend even the gods themselves.
The Kiran warned us, High Chancellor. This experiment risks everything we have built.
Warnings are for those who lack vision, Princess. Progress demands courage.
With the council approving, they began to put the ether to work. Our sick were healed by the power of the green orb. Our machines, powered by the blue orb, and necklaces were made from the red orb. We no longer aged. With time, the experiments grew bolder. Naziris, who had given us stern warnings, knew that the experiments must stop.
Stop this madness. You know not what you do.
Do not lecture me, Cat. With this power, I will become divine.
And so, the Great Fall began. The ether, united not in harmony but in chaos, consumed all that it touched.
Heavens help us, what have I done?
And almost in an instant, centuries of creation was undone. The warnings from Naziris fell on deaf ears. Atlantis, a civilization far ahead of its time, was wiped from the history books, reduced to that of a legend. Blanketed in snow and ice, our once lush paradise became a barren wasteland, void of life. A stark reminder of the ether's power. Those who listened to the Kiran were able to flee the cataclysm. With a green orb and a red orb, we fled our once great paradise. We ventured far and wide, looking for a new place to call home. We found refuge in the thickness of the rainforests. Over time, we no longer called ourselves Atlanteans, but instead chose a new name, the Amazons.